Storyboard18 Visionaries, a platform where we celebrate marketing's brightest minds. After successful events in Gurugram and Bengaluru, we now turn our focus to Mumbai. Here, we honor the pioneers of branding and marketing, uncovering their inspiring stories and shaping a future of enduring brands. The event began with Saurabh Khattar, Integral Ad Sciences Country Manager, shedding light on the importance of media quality and attention in the rapidly evolving advertising landscape.
Today I'm going to speak about much discussed topic of attention. And I want you all to think about the last ad that caught your eye. Did it make you laugh? Did it make you feel happy? Did it make you click that ad? In today's era, in today's digital world, ads fight not just for ad space, but they fight for something much more valuable. That's your attention. Focusing on attention and optimizing the campaigns on attention is really important in today's era. So I would highly recommend talk to your trusted agency partners and learn more about how you can optimize your campaigns on the basis of attention. Now, we all know that digital ecosystem is shifting. Content creation is growing at an unprecedented rate, with platforms like Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat, and many more are contributing to this content creation and explosion of user-generated content. For example, time spent by a Gen Z watching user-generated content in a week is staggering 13.1 hours. So video is growing, social is growing, and it becomes of paramount importance and utmost importance that brands take care of the reputation on the UGC content, in and around the UGC content, to make sure that their ads are placed in a safe environment. So to help brands and agencies, at IS, we have worked on a multimedia technology which analyzes video on frame-by-frame level. So it analyzes each and every frame, and in a sample video size of 12 minutes, it understands more than 3,000 plus cues. This incredible granular classification technology tries and understand logos in the video, famous celebrities and famous people on the video, and it also has advanced scene detection, which tries and understand what is the scene about. Does it showing any kind of violence, any obscenity, any profanity, any nudity, etc. And it also has a detection of audio to text analysis or text to audio analysis. And all these signals are taken, and many more signals are taken, and it gives a brand safety score to that particular video. And now brands and agencies can use and make sure that they are not present around any unsafe videos that might be in a world of UGC or on an open web. So thank you all for your undivided attention today. We all know which is a rare commodity today in digital ecosystem. Thank you all.
Bharat Puri, Managing Director of Pidilite Industries, delivered a keynote address sharing invaluable insights from his leadership journey.
I've had a wonderful time in the world of marketing. I've spent close to 40 years across three iconic brands. I started with paints, Asian Paints, spent a considerable amount of time there before I decided I wanted to move to a tastier product, so I moved to chocolate, and spent another 17 years at Cadbury before I came to Pidilite. You know, the one wonderful thing, and I have so many of my old partners here, anytime you tell people you work for an A Paints or you work for Cadbury or you work for Fevicol, one of the first reactions you get is a 5-minute feedback on your advertising, whether you want it or not. So, you know, when I look at each of these brands, I mean, my starting point always is, it again sounds like a motherhood. It is in some ways a truism. But I always believe that good brands begin and end with the consumer. I think the second, equally important, I just pay a lot of attention to the superior products always win. Spend a little bit of time on the consumer and spend a lot of time on the product. The third thing, and my old friends Sonal and Bobby and so are here, I'm a very strong believer in the power of effective communication. The only thing that changes consumer behavior is great communication. Obviously, it has to be backed by the right product, obviously the right sales and distribution. All of that, obviously, I know that you know that. But effective communication, and rather than again give you rules around how you should create effective communication, I've just followed 2-3 simple rules. The first starts with respect your creative partners. If you wanted to be a creative partner, you should be working there and not here. I think it starts there, and the issue of genuine partnership and genuine respect for each other's abilities, the ability that, listen, I've always maintained and I still maintain, all agencies are as good or as bad as the client is. I've believed in the power of long-term relationships, investing. In all of the three companies that one has been fortunate to work for, our agency relationships are a minimum of 30 years old. My final advice on communication: before you read the lyrics, please listen to the song. A lot of times we are so busy with our checklists and checking the checklist, we forget that we have to listen to the song and whether the song makes an impact or not. And therefore, I'm a very strong believer that, listen, there is no consumer problem that you can't get right over a period of time if you've got the right partners and you're holding hands and doing it together. I think along with this, the final piece of advice on steering brands that I have is, don't be afraid of making mistakes. I promise you, all of us who've got gray in the hair have made enough lemons. I think as a leader, one of our greatest abilities is our ability to create a culture where people are not afraid of making mistakes. And I'm a strong believer, therefore, in the power of the team. I think it's teams, and it is the extended team, research agency plus advertising agency plus client plus obviously media agency and your sales team. When you get it all together, then it is magic. Otherwise, a lot of times, people are spending too much time trying to figure out who didn't do it right rather than doing it right themselves. And therefore, my philosophy, which I would advocate strongly, is never worry about success, as long as you're clear that when you're successful, the team gets the credit. When something doesn't go right, stand up and lead. If you're able to do that over a period of time, you will always have brand marketeers that are courageous, that are willing to take the risk and willing to push the envelope. Thank you so much.
The opening round of accolades at Storyboard18's Visionaries, Mumbai Chapter, brought brilliance to the stage, honouring standout achievers from Asha Kharga of Mahindra Group to Saloni Shah of L'Oreal, Ajay Dang from Ultratech Cement, Lance Bennett from Mercedes-Benz India, Chandramohan Mehra from Bajaj Alliance, and Harman Dhillon from Unilever. Following this, Santosh Iyer, CEO of Mercedes-Benz India, delivered a special address captivating the audience with his views on the brand's modern identity, which has propelled Mercedes-Benz to the status of a luxury auto leader in India.
I started with my journey in Nepal, and that's where my first learning on marketing came. And there's no rocket science. I think, we spoke about consumer, keeping the consumer in the center. But when I was a hardcore sales guy, I used to measure everything on sales numbers. Is it going to generate revenue? Is it going to have any impact? After joining Mercedes-Benz, I was a marketeer. We had this challenge. A lot of people used to say this is not a young man's brand. You had competitors coming to India. It was way back in 2009. And then, of course, there is always a push to imitate. Why don't you take celebrities? Why don't you give cars to Bollywood free? These are the kind of, you keep getting these advices. But then to be successful, you need your own strategy. And this is where, as Mercedes-Benz, we said, we go back to basics. We look at what we need to do for the brand in this country. I firmly believe that our shared vision, what you want to create, needs to be really aligned with the agency partners. We need to break this line of agency, client. This is something that starts, building silos within organizations as well and within partners. So we are in the people business. We need to break this up and then look at how we can go beyond the obvious and how we can create new narratives. As you know, we are an automotive brand, and India sells 4 million cars. Luxury is around 48,000 cars. So we are 1% of the car market. At the same time, the question was, now what do you do? So you have beautiful cars, we have the latest technology, and then we again said that if we have to be a luxury brand in India, we have to stop doing the obvious, which is we have to change the retailing model. Today, what we have done in India, I'm not sure if you know, we are the only brand in India to do direct-to-consumer retail model. The traditional model, and most of you in this round would have bought a car or a two-wheeler at some point in your life. You would be, it's by a push model. You know, you go to buy something, the dealer hounds on you. He will sell the stock that he has, the red car that they have, or they will, and then you negotiate discounts. You also play around two partners, try to get the best deal. And in this entire process, frankly, the retailers don't make money, and they all make money in customer service, which is the after-sales business. We said that as Mercedes-Benz, if we are a luxury brand, we need to change this narrative. We need to go away from this push model. And we therefore, it was COVID when we decided, and we actually transitioned to a direct-to-consumer model. Today, we have sold 40,000 cars. That translates to a turnover of close to 40,000 crores, I can say, by selling cars directly to consumers. Of course, we have the agents with us. But what we have done is we have redefined the entire luxury retailing experience when it comes to automotive sector. The key point here is you have to be a creator and a destroyer yourself. You cannot rely on what has been created as a traditional model. You need to challenge the status quo, and that's what we have done. There is a lot of story of first. You know, if you look at our product portfolio for India, we know that India is a chauffeur market. You know, the rear seat dedication is very high. And in that sense, because a lot of consumers have chauffeurs on weekdays, they have drive their cars themselves on weekend, they need privacy as well. So we got a long wheelbase car in India. You know, India is the only market in the world to have a long wheelbase E-Class, for example. When you talk about connectivity, you know, there is a lot of digital natives. How can we bring connectivity into the car? We were the first to get an embedded SIM in the car, connectivity, and even autonomous and so on and so forth. So I think we need to, and this is what Mercedes-Benz believes, that we invented the car, we continue to reinvent it, and we will reinvent it again. And this is where now with electrification, we are also challenging the status quo. Narrative on electric is not about being a fad, but it is about how do we ensure that we have a sustainable future also for us. Have a nice evening, and I look forward to also interact with each one of you as we move on. Thank you.
In the second leg of felicitations, outstanding marketers from various sectors were honored for their remarkable contributions to the marketing industry. These included Anuradha Agarwal from Amazon Pay, Arpan Biswas from Ajio, Mayank Shah from Parle, Nitin Saini from Mondelez International, Sujata V. Kumar from Visa, Manish Dubey from Pidilite, and Neha Ahuja from Spotify. Welcome back to Storyboard18 Visionaries Mumbai Chapter. The evening featured an engaging fireside chat between Nishant Kalra, Vice President of Salesforce Digital, and Storyboard18's Managing Editor, Delshad Irani. Together, they explored AI, data cloud, modern marketing strategy, and the future of innovation.
Well, Nishant, let's get straight into it. In what way is AI revolutionizing and enhancing marketing strategies and practices in your view?
AI has the ability to generate insights, be it running and executing marketing campaigns, choosing what creatives to be done based upon the segment affinities, to the dhanda. You know, how can you improve the ROI or the dhanda for a marketer or for the organization? With AI, it's become quite simple for a marketer. The marketer can actually say, hey, Einstein, create a segment of people in the room who would love pairing dark chocolates with red wine. So it is as simple as plain English language being able to cull out segments. We're seeing a huge adoption of AI and data within Indian organizations, the Bharat Ke brands.
When it comes to data, right? Why is it important to have a cohesive data strategy in place when implementing AI? Just give us your quick sum up your thoughts on that.
So when an organization leverages the LLM model or any AI model, the response is only towards that context. But the magic really happens if you're able to marry the LLM along with your organization data. So that's where the things come to life.
All right, let me just sum up our conversation, Nishant, by asking you, of course, there's a lot of, the trust factor around AI. What is trusted AI? What are its principles, and why is it becoming increasingly important today as we see, AI advancing everywhere?
So for us, since we started the organization, trust has been our number one value. Trust is built into our platform. Essentially, if you pick up the Einstein trust layer, it helps you to retain the data within the organization. So the trust layer ensures that no data goes and resides in the LLM model or the AI model. So your data remains with you. The second aspect of negative aspect of AI could be toxicity and hallucinations. And this trusted layer can handle both.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Nishant. It was lovely chatting with you on all things AI. Thank you.
The third set of felicitations saw marketing experts being applauded for setting new standards in marketing excellence. These included Gaurav Ramdev from Protean eGov Technologies, Arvind Iyer from Piramal Finance, Vaishali Iyer from Novartis India, Udit Agarwal from Exotel, Vaibhav Mehrotra from Cashfree, and Mukta Maheshwari from PNG. Storyboard 18's Shibani Gharat led an insightful conversation with MVS Murthy, Chief Marketing Officer at Federal Bank, exploring the dynamic marketing landscape within the banking sector, focusing on the theme Digital at 4, Human at the Core.
In this era of digital and mobile banking, how does the bank balance between digital experience while maintaining that human touch?
As far as our brand is concerned, there is something very interesting about our brand. We have a less than 2% attrition rate. 42% of the employees in our company are women. Now, when I give you these stats, it means that these women joined us as young ladies, as probationary officers, as clerks. They had full-fledged careers, kids, unwell parents, in-laws, and all that has happened. Now, when you look at a consumer, we have consumers who are with us for the third generation now. And quite a few of them are also shareholders with the bank. So a lot of what we go out and do is because of this. And I take great pride in saying that we might not be the top 3 banks in the country, but in the midst of the 3 Khans, हम भी मनोज त्रिपाठी हैं, हम भी मनोज बाजपेयी हैं, हम भी पंकज त्रिपाठी हैं, हमारी शौर्य की भी फिल्में बन रही हैं आजकल. And OTT allows a great opportunity to build loyalty. So that's what we are going out doing through relationships. So for us, it's always the relationship first, and the technology is a packaging.
Also, you have this philosophy of digital at 4, human at core. What is your advice to other marketers to follow this principle, which is digital at 4, digital at 4 and human at core?
I think one of the things I learned, and I must also do a reveal here, that when I began my career, I was like Mr. Bachchan in the South Hindustani frame, right at the corner here, because I began my career with Ogilvy, and a lot of my seniors are here. So it was a very nondescript kind of a role that we had, okay? And that agency, and I cherish this, taught me the need to go and keep meeting consumers over and over and over again. And that's what we go out and do. Thankfully, in the bank, being human at the core comes naturally to us. So, a lot of our colleagues, you don't need to tell them that you need to hide behind technology or whatever, but they're happy going out and meeting customers. So it's something which is there ingrained in that culture. Now, if I were to put on a face, then it would have looked very flaky. But we live that thought process. I mean, if you go to a bank branch, and some of our campaigns that you see, my colleagues are my ambassadors. And it is really exciting. And when you look at the whole the journey of the brand, there are 7 marathons that we connect with. So it is, again, people. We run the largest cancer awareness program before you get cancer. And this is after cancer, a lot of people work, but we run that. Again, it's a connect with people. So a lot of our initiatives that we go out and do is actually people first. And then tech enables us to go out and do stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for these wonderful insights.
Continuing the evening's excitement, Network 18's Toya Singh hosted a special conversation with the advertising maestro, Prasoon Joshi, chairman of McCann World Group Asia Pacific and CEO and COO McCann World Group India.
The first question I want to ask you, and sir, we'd love if you could give us a little bit of context to your answer here, is the top 3 campaigns that when you look back have stayed with you that are your own, and why?
Youngest child is the one you love the most. So recently, I just did this Air India safety videos, which you would have seen. I think that was a new experience. I've never written something like this. I never thought it will connect with people. It was, the purpose was an in-flight video. And well, one understood and learned also that today the content doesn't have to be an ad. An ad, it doesn't have to be an ad. Anything can be an ad. I'll always cherish Happy Dent. It always, people remind me that was something which I was fortunate that I was part of and I could think of.
So, sir, can we ask you, because through this evening we've used this word a lot, visionary. And we wanted to ask you, when we keep using this word, what does it actually mean for you when you've in your career worked with different CMOs? What are the qualities that you're looking for in someone you're going to be partnering with?
I think receptive, open, not fixated, listening to you, because I feel that there is an object out there and you're putting different shafts of light. Every shaft of light is becoming clearer to you. Second thing is that clarity with which they come to you, with open-mindedness, of course, but clarity with which they finally handhold you, and conviction. Not making you conscious of the failure.
You've worked on the 2014 campaign for the BJP. You're working on the current one. And the question that a lot of us had was brand Modi, that idea. Have you seen a change in what it stands for the nation? And in your own head, as you said, you're writing short stories. How are you penning this short story?
No, I think it's simple. If you see his graph, it's a very, from hope to trust. And this journey from hope to trust happens if you deliver something. Now you see what you've done is, you're talking about what you've done. So you have trust of people, you've earned that trust. I think from hope to trust, from Asha se Vishwas tak. That's how I see his journey.
As the ceremony concluded, visionary marketeers were applauded for reshaping the industry landscape. These included Ankit Kapoor from Parle Agro, Prabhakar Tiwari from Angel One, Tushar Malhotra from Bisleri International, Ratin Lahiri from SBI General Insurance, and Amrit Raj from Zetwork.